Hi, Satish. Welcome to the EO Wonder podcast.
Hi, Kalika. Good morning.
So, you are calling in from India. Tell us a little bit about where you are, your business, and just a little bit about you.
Sure. So I am Satish. I work for Unyscape Infocom. I started Unyscape with a very dear friend of mine called Sudhir Rohila. We started our jobs together way back in 1999. And we worked together, and then we moved on and joined PwC. I was with IBM. And one fine day on a coffee, we decided enough is enough working for these big guys. Let's start something of our own. So now 12 years in business, we are a 230 people company. We are a digital agency. We have four key pillars. We do design. Design means UI, UX, and advertising design. Then we build products, build and design products, and then advertise and analyze and optimize. These are the four verticals we have. And we serve clients across the world. Majority of our clients are in US, UK, and Gulf region. A few of them are in India. It was intentional in a way in the beginning, because while working for PwC and IBM, we always worked with international clients. We in a way continue the same journey. So, and I'm father of two kids, a 13-year-old son, 9-year-old daughter. And I just, because I'm in my home as of now, I've told them very clearly just now that please don't come out of your rooms for next 1 hour. so, so this is what and life revolves around them. Whatever I
Uh,
do it for them. Uh, yeah.
what city are you in?
So I'm in Delhi.
And what's it like in Delhi today? What time is it?
It's
Right now it's 8
it
a.m.
is
here in the US.
it's
Okay.
8:30 in the evening here. Weather is a little hot. Hot for us. Hot for you is simple for us. It's good weather for us. Hot for us.
What is hot? Like for me, like something like, I grew up in Hawaii, so 75 to 80 degrees. I know.
95, 95,
Oh, that's
95 to
pleasant.
105.
Wow,
Oh,
that's
75 is pleasant if it is not humid.
oh wow. So can you repeat again the four pillars? So you do design.
So we do design. And design, we do UI, UX for products. We do advertising creatives. Right? That is the vertical comes under design. We have around 23, 24 people team here. Then we have what we call build. Right? In build, we develop websites, e-commerce platforms, and apps. Right? Number three is advertise. In advertise, we have been a Google Premier Partner agency for nearly 7 years. We manage a few $1 million per month for our clients across the world for advertising. So we are very good in Google ads. We are very good in Facebook ads, Snapchat ads, LinkedIn, Twitter, and very few cases we do influencer management as well. So, and in advertise component itself, we have a very strong SEO practice, nearly 16 clients in total across the world, and we manage more than 200 million organic traffic for our clients. And very stable business in that sense. And the fourth vertical is analytics. In analytics, in digital space, it's very important to capture data right. You monitor data right. That is where the dashboards come in. Then you draw right insights, and then you do experiments and A/B testing continuously to optimize that. So that's why the fourth vertical is analyze and optimize. So design, build, advertise, and optimize. These are the four verticals.
Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, actually, analytics. Yeah,
Why?
analytics because it is the foundation layers. It's not that whenever I worked with people in agency and in client side, everybody want a validation mechanism, right? A mechanism. So if I'm doing a creative, I want to know that it is working or not. If I'm doing a website, I want to know that it is working or not. Right? So whatever you do in digital advertising space, you want to measure, right? You want to measure, you want to draw insight, and you want to keep improving. because analytics becomes the foundation of everything you do in digital space. That's why I love it, because then I can touch everything. Then I can take care of the whole team. I can advise them. I can help them see things clearly. That's why I love analytics. And what fascinates me the most is communication. So I'm not very good at it, but there are a few people in the team, and I worked with some very bright people. You are very good at it, right? So because your primary job is actually communication, so brand communication. Because why brand communication fascinates me? First is because I'm not good at it, right? And I know the effectiveness of it. Right? So every business, small or big, should work on their communication clearly. Uh, be it writing an email or writing doing an email signature to a post to anything, right? So if the communication is right, then only data emerges, right? So if you don't have right communication, your campaigns are not working, your websites are not working, then what will you measure, right? So that's the idea. That's how I design fascinates.
The reason why I wanted you to be on the podcast, we've had some earlier conversations about SEO, and you have such a wonderful mind about what businesses should be doing. And I wanted you to be able to share your expertise because you're giving me some ideas on SEO, that businesses should be talking about video SEO, but I'd love for you to do the talking. What should businesses, let's maybe small, medium, big, what should they be focused on, especially since here in the US there's a looming recession coming? What do you
Yeah.
think that they can do to improve their business?
Yeah. So I think this I tell it to everybody. The first thing they should do very clearly, and first focus should be when somebody is looking for you. If somebody is looking for your business, ensure that they get you, and when they get you, they get the right experience. If somebody is looking for my company name, let's say Unyscape Infocom, anywhere in the world, my website should appear first. Then few of my questions should appear. Few of my YouTube videos should appear, so that they get to know me well. Because some of your efforts has already gone into making him interested in you, right? So that should be your first focus, according to me. Yeah? Now, when you talk about SEO or paid advertising both, but let's talk about search in general, then comes the second important point is when whatever you do, wherever you do, is very important. Right? Whatever you do, wherever you do, your website, your Facebook page, your LinkedIn page, your YouTube channel description, everything should be clearly defining it. What happens? People say that I want to do SEO. I said, but your address in your local listing is wrong. Your website does not have an address properly, right? Your website is not doing structured data. Right? So the first focus businesses should do is that whatever they are, in the best of their capabilities, whatever they are, wherever they are, they should mention that very clearly. And what I like about firms like Google, right? They like small businesses, right? That is how their algorithm they like. Right? I know this might sound a little odd, but when you are, let's say, if you're looking for a SEO agency in Atlanta, Google by design will show SEO agencies in Atlanta only. It cannot show the largest SEO agency in the world if it is in Atlanta. So by structure, search is designed to help small businesses, be it in local business listings, be it in Google search, small businesses or mid-sized businesses, Google search definitely helps. On the other hand, which I also start telling people that anywhere in the world, people have developed this like for reading. So they want to watch, they want to listen. So because it is easy, everybody is on phone, and at least I can say this very confidently about India, because some of the clients, video clients we have in India, but everywhere in the world, a lot of people are spending a lot of time watching videos. They're comfortable, it's easy, you can explain your arguments better. So that's why I say every small business, mid business, they should focus on creating videos, follow few best practices, very simple best practices of title, right description, right long description, right tagging, very simple things, not no rocket science. Create it, tag it properly, write it properly, leave it, keep creating. So what people miss is that channels with one video or two videos don't work. Channels with a lot of videos work. So why I say a lot of videos, two things happen in the way, right? First, Google start understanding your channel, or YouTube start understanding your channel's context or subject. And second thing which very important happen, that more you do it, better you become. Right? So both things work in tandem. And now with everybody having good enough cameras on the phone and the good enough mics on their phone, everybody can create quality content. The only thing, people like me, you don't have this problem, I have this problem. I know it's the consistency is where I don't do much. But I wish every small business in these times, especially, right? When it is difficult to spend advertising dollars, create content, distribute efficiently, right? Create as much as possible. And I know writing 1,000-word article versus speaking for 15 minutes. Speaking of 15 minutes is easy. Now that's how two things or three things, if I summarize it clearly. Always protect your name. Give good experience to people who are looking for you, right? Number two, whatever you are, wherever you are, please ensure search engines get this information clearly, right? Number three, create as much of video and audio content, follow your subject, and be consistent. No. So I think quick summary is how I can speak for hours, but quick summary is this is how what I'll say.
When we talked earlier, you also said how, because of TikTok, YouTube is now a discovery engine. Let's talk a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
about that.
sure. So the TikTok has actually scared everybody. Be it YouTube, be it Facebook, everybody got scared of them. And they are good, right? So nobody matches their discovery algorithm. Even if you are not following a lot of people, you can consume content.
Maybe you can
Even if you
define what discovery engine means for people.
so discovery engine means, so for example, I am a new user for TikTok or for YouTube, and Google knows, or YouTube knows, or TikTok knows very little about me. What they do, that they show more and more content to me so that they get to know better. They get to know me better. Okay? On the moment they get to know me better, even if I'm not looking for the content, it keep pushing that content towards me. Right? So YouTube in, say, 3-4 years back, YouTube search used to contribute more than 60% to YouTube videos. Right? Now that for few clients we have, what we can see with averages, near that number has come down to 40%. And there is a decent percentage which is discovered. Means Google presented your video in front of an audience on his video wall. Right? He was not looking for it. They presented it and then clicked on it. So this matching of content and users' interest is what I call discoverability of the content, not search, actually discovery. So this started, TikTok made it famous. Then everybody started doing it better. You can see Facebook is doing a lot of video discovery. You can keep scrolling video content forever, right? That is the idea. So when you keep creating content, YouTube gets to know you better, you know your content better, and when it knows your content better, it distributes it better. So that is where consistency comes into the play. And one finder, there's no magic potion for virality. One finder, you will create a very good content. It will take you to the right place. But because you cannot start from the right video, you have to unlock that possibility. That unlocking of that possibility happens only by creating more.
I completely agree. I think deliberate practice, especially when you have low views, is the best time to do it. Because if you have one view,
even if I make a mistake, nobody's watching anyways, right? So keep doing it. At
right?
least you will. At least you will share it to your family, right? So they will tell you that you're messing up, and you will go. We all have our own quality checks, right? We know that we mess up in our first videos, second videos, and third videos, and every time, and because we evolve, you get better at it. So all these influencers you see with millions of followers on everywhere, no one go back to their history and look at their first creation.
Terrible.
So that is where. That is where. And if then these are difficult times, the idea is that with minimum money spent, can I reach out to my target? And it works. It works.
Yeah, in the past, whenever you would see these YouTube influencers with millions, like one of my EO4 mates actually has 75 million views on just one video, and she built a business on it, etc. And a lot of people are intimidated because YouTube has been around for a long time, but because of TikTok, what you're saying is there's an opportunity for people to get back in. They don't have to spend a lot of money to be known. They just have to be consistent. Is that right?
Yes, and there are two sides to it. Discoverability as such happens a lot in entertainment. This is because YouTube also is interested in holding on to their user for a longer period. That's their interest, right? That is why they want user to consume content. In case of entertainment or motivation or sports, there are large genres where this happens a lot. But on business, for example, which is business subjects are normally dry. It is nothing entertaining about it, right? But what actually happens that your content, when you keep creating this content, its searchability also get better. Even if this video is supposed to be seen by only 500 people in the world, at least Google will try to present it to those 500 people, and your job is done. You might not get few million visitors, but if let me tell you a small story. 2-3 days back, I actually launched my first video. Right? Oh yes, it was a
I'm
big
so
day.
thrilled. Yes. Congrats.
and
Congrats.
and we were talking about how do you. It was mainly meant for some large businesses where brand search volume is very large. So the subject was how do you segment brand traffic and non-brand traffic? How do you segment revenue brand versus non-brand in search? This was the topic. It was a 13 minutes discussion. And I posted on my LinkedIn. I got few views. What happened? 4 of my old friends, they connected and they said one is the largest company. He works with the largest company in India. He said that we are interested in working with you for our SU. So biggest telecom company in India. So I said, what is this? So at least the first win you can for sure say that if you create content, you stay in short-term memory of your own friends. Forget about people beyond your first degree connection. At least your friends get to know what you do. At least start from there. That's surely a win, right? Otherwise, you will not call a 5,000 of them on LinkedIn saying that this is what I do. At least this is a very efficient way. And then if 150 of them like it, your video will be viewed by 2,000 people more.
Aren't you
That's how it
thrilled?
works.
Aren't you
Yeah, yeah.
thrilled? Aren't you thrilled that the advice you're giving to other people, you're also doing?
Oh,
Because it is, isn't it true? We
it is
always.
true. And I tell you the mistake I did. Because we have a creative team and they do videos and interviews with everybody. I told them, do it. Why don't you plan one for me as well? So they have some simple camera, simple mic, nothing jazzy about it. And because it was difficult subject, actually, right? They wanted my help to edit it, right? And I was not able to give them time. They actually launched it after 8 weeks of the shoot. So I said, next time onwards, I will not give you for editing. I will pick it up, post it as it is.
As is.
As is. Otherwise, 8 weeks, I would have done 8 videos.
And
Yeah.
you're such a talent, when you're communicating as well too. And I remember you told me you were just doing a simple video with your friend on Zoom, right? And then you posted it.
Yeah,
Tell us that story.
exactly. There's a friend of mine, he runs a very large ed tech company in India. And when they started, they had some $200,000 seed money. I'm talking about 2010, 11. And the money was nearly drying, right? And he's a very articulate man. He was teaching 1 hour session to his class, right? The call got recorded. And because he was teaching, there was a presentation which was followed, right? And as a bold call, what he did, he actually packaged it, put it on video, put it on YouTube. They were, in dollar terms, they were doing some $3,000 a month revenue, right? That it was March of 2013, right? December of 2013, they started doing $200,000 a month. And they said that video did it. That video got 200,000 views in first month. And the video was around, there is a big data technology called Hadoop. So people were looking for it. And then they said that the people who were not ready to pay us $20 for training, the same people started giving us $500 for training. So, and their YouTube channel currently is a 3 million subscriber channel. They built nearly $50 million company on YouTube, just a core business. There's nothing fancy about it. It's pure technology. So this, and I was doing, when I saw the power of content, I said, let me see if I can capture normal communications, right? Cut it. In normal communication should make sense, right? That communication can be good for somebody else. Just record it, cut it, and push. If the content is right, you don't have to spend a lot of time editing. Say right things and say it with confidence and say it with balance, and I think it will work. And I am promising I'm going to do it every week from here on.
Yes, consistency is the key,
Consistency. That's it.
right? Right. And can you imagine if you started doing this 12 years ago, Satish, right? When you started your business,
Yeah.
right?
Let me tell you very interesting thing. So the problem is lack of confidence. This happens with every small business. Somebody left a big job in Oracle or IBM or Microsoft or anywhere, and he starts something. He feels weak. He feels that as if I don't have much to say. One fine day when I will have a lot of things to say, then I will start saying it. It doesn't work this way. Right. So I think when you said, why didn't you start 12 years back? First of all, I didn't know. Nobody told me to do it. I came from a conventional IBM kind of a background where the sales never happened on internet. Right? It was more of a big corporate enterprise sales. So, and we kept doing that, kept doing that. We never went out and started using these mediums. Right? So now after so many years, you realize, okay, it was so simple.
You know what switched it for me is when you realize it's not what you want to say, it's what do they need to hear.
Exactly. So let me put it this way. So what happened? Let's say in YouTube, right? Let's say when you are creating content, one thing is that you are saying, oh, I want to say this. Please go to few simple keyword research tools. At least type it on YouTube search. It will give you recommendations, suggestions. Choose a topic, talk about that, because people are looking for it.
They're
The third,
already looking for it.
looking for it. So when you have large subscriber base, you can decide the narrative. When you are starting it, you serve what people are looking for.
Exactly. So let's repeat that again because I think it's important. In Google, you can just type in a subject and it will,
Type in search box, you start typing your area of interest. It starts showing you suggestions.
at the
Choose a
bottom.
topic of your, yes, in the search box, right? And you choose topic of your interest. It will suggest again. You can actually narrow down the subject, right? Whichever subject you are interested in, just search it. Look at the number of, there are whatever you search, you will see 10 videos at least. If there are videos with high enough search volume, it means a lot of people are looking for it. That's it. No keyword research, nothing. If a video is appearing for a keyword and the video itself has, and few video have decent search page views, that means people are looking for the subject. Go and create content. And
Some
if the popular, yeah, please.
what's a sample question like how to start a business with under $1,000?
Exactly. Why not? Why not?
I did. I started with
Exactly.
$86. I started with a used computer and a desk from IKEA, like it's
Yeah, same. Yeah.
yeah.
So I actually, when I started, I asked my father-in-law, because my father-in-law had a huge house. It was on rent, and there was one room which was empty, right? So I asked my father-in-law, okay, Dad, can I have that room? And because he's my father-in-law, he said he didn't ask charge rent. So so
You have to be
I
creative.
got it. Yes,
But
I
that's how
got
you
it.
be creative. And also, I think the
Right.
one thing that entrepreneurs also feel like they do not ask for help as much as they
Oh,
really should.
yes.
There's something about
Yeah.
where we have to do it all on our own. That's that. Why is there a problem with that?
I think there are a few things which I see, right? One thing is people who are starting up, whoever is successful is actually arrogant. Or whoever is successful, if I ask for help, he will not help. The world doesn't work this way.
Yeah, why do they think
Every
that?
Oh, exactly. So if you need help, ask for it. At max, what will happen? He will say, "Sorry, I will talk to you 1 month later." At max, he will say that,
At
or he will ignore
maximum.
it. What difference does it
Or,
make?
or they just don't see your email
Yes,
inadvertently.
that's it.
Because
Yes,
most successful people love to help other people because
exactly.
that's how the world works. You're absolutely right.
When I my company is now slightly bigger, but even once in a while I get a phone call from, because my number is still there on internet on my company's name. Within few minutes, you know that the person who is calling you cannot afford you. Right? But I continue talking for half an hour, 1 hour. I keep doing it every week on an average. Because then I tell him, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Take my number. You already have my number. WhatsApp me. I will help you. So, and I will ask somebody in my company to help you. But nobody's asking.
You're absolutely, I had a call because we were trying to, hire more employees, and there was a girl who submitted her resume, and she was a dog walker. I don't know how she got her resume all to me, because usually it's filtered, but for some reason it got on my calendar. I think she found my Calendly or whatever. And I literally spent an hour and a half telling her, okay, this is how you're going to fix your resume, because she did a Google
Exactly.
UX boot camp. And I'm here an hour and a half. I could be, I'm like $10,000 an hour. Like I could, but it was my joy to help her.
Exactly,
I
exactly,
was so,
exactly.
and I was
So
like,
I'm not,
right. She
you
was,
don't do it for
she,
them, you do it for
no.
yourself. Yeah,
Or, it's just, this is how you contribute to the
that's
world.
your thing.
You know what your life's purpose is. So wherever you go, whether or not you're getting paid $10,000, whatever it is, like you're still being who you are. Yeah.
And the good thing is, when people like you are fairly successful, but somebody like me as well, when I look back and you realize that there were people in the whole journey who helped. And I did this exercise. There is a big festival in India called Diwali. Last year, in
Yeah.
Diwali, you
Beautiful.
thank people, and so I was thinking, and I was actually doing dotted lines, right? And I was saying, okay, who helped me getting this client? And I was doing this drawing, and I realized that 80% of our business, as of now, actually started by triggers of only 5 people.
Is
So
Samir
it
one
was
of them?
Diwali. Yes, he is. Right.
Samir is
So
in my forum. So.
yeah, okay. So, and what happened? I actually said thank you to all of them. Right? And two of them said, oh, I didn't realize. He said, I didn't realize that I helped you that much. That is what it is. If somebody helped me, the right way to pay that debt is to move it forward. So
Without asking for
from
anything,
somebody else, right?
without reciprocation, without wanting that. How are you going to help me,
And I
right?
tell, and I tell you, and I tell you a very interesting thing. Once again, on my demand gen or referral model, which a company is completely based on referral, right? What happens when you talk to people only for business? They don't give you business. You talk to people. You talk to people. You listen them. You share your stories. You become friends, and the business flows. Right. So the cut and dry business deals is, let's say, it's an old idea now. Right? It happens, right? So some people are very good at it, so I'm not. But I think the way business is are built is by building relationships, right? And you do relationships when you communicate, you help, you ask for help, and that's how the community, your own little world grows, and then you succeed. That's how it works. And in a way, the internet also works the same way. You keep doing, you keep touching, you keep connecting with people, and the impression builds.
And that I think also is a reason why, when you create content, you are also helping people,
Yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
and it's
And
circular.
a lot of times, when you're creating the content, this is not my customer's need. It's very interesting. If you look at HubSpot, right, in general, right, there's a multi-billion-dollar company built on content, right? But the content they create for beginners as well, who will
True,
not go and buy a HubSpot. You know,
true,
majority of content they create is not for end customer. It's in general for larger masses, because when you become very precise in content creation, right, your audience become very small. When you are slightly large, if they can afford to do it because they're very large company, can do whatever they want to do. But I am what I meant to say, that when you have a broader definition of your ideal customer, create content for broader definition, because you never know who is looking for it.
there's a great
And
book.
that's how. Yeah.
Do you know this book, They Ask You Answer, by Mark Sheridan?
No.
he also built his business. He had a fiberglass, very specific type of pool company here in the US in Virginia, very, very small city. He said one email, one article yielded $6 million. You know what this article was all about? This article was a pricing guide to pools. Because what happens, a lot of times people don't understand pricing. And if you go to someone, right, when you go to a restaurant, the price is there. But sometimes when you go to other businesses, they hide it. And why hide the content? I remember when one of our clients is USC, we worked with the Annenberg School for Communication, University of Southern California. And when we first went to them, couldn't find their tuition. And they said, oh no, what we want is we want them to fall in love with the school. And then in the very, very little, under FAQ, like we'll hide the tuition. I said, do you know that what is your tuition is the number one search in your particular website? And why would you want someone else who can't afford your school fall in love with your school? So why hide it? So pricing is really important. What do you think about videos around pricing?
Different topic, different businesses have different key decision-making points, right? Pricing is one of them, right? Location is another. So where you are, how much you charge, what are your confidence building measures, right? So for example, certified financial advisors. So there are different confidence building measures. So how do you get to know what are the key factors by which your customers decide? That is very very interesting to know what are the key questions around my industry or the thing which I serve. So there are once again there are different paid tools, right? But and you can find out what is the search volume for a keyword or search volume for a question. You can do SEMrush, you can do Href or Google Keyword Planner tool or any of those tools. You can find out the volume, but all of them cost money. So what you do, go to Google, search main keywords, right? Start with a question. Google will start giving you that question box. Right? You keep clicking on it, it will keep expanding. Okay? And by Google FAQ itself, you can find out what are people looking for in my industry. Answer those questions on your website. If possible, if the question is asked on Quora, go and answer it there. If the question is asked somewhere else, go and answer it there. So what is happening is when you know what your audience is looking for, then go and answer it. Answer it on your website, answer it somewhere else. And if certain number of people are looking for it, then they will read your answer, they will reach you. So I think pricing is in that sense. And then, I am also a service provider, and what I want, you know there is a sweet spot. What actually when people tell pricing, they feel as if they're committing. And in service, commitment of price in early stage is difficult. So for example, if somebody comes and asks you, can you design my website? You will have 10 different questions first. You'll say, what is the size? What is the industry? Do you have designs ready, or you have information architecture ready, and so on and so forth, right? And then, if the customer cannot answer those questions, you cannot tell them how much it is going to cost. That is where it becomes challenging for putting costs, right? And in the kind of services you and me do, even calculators don't work. Right? For somebody like us, having a fixed price is probably easy to say. Then there's no debate and everybody knows what is the price. But I feel as if I'm cheating somebody if I'm telling the price without knowing what somebody is looking for. Okay? So that's why I said price industry to industry vary, but I think the broader question is you should know what your audience is looking for. And whatever they are looking for, they are clearly asking on it.
Yes, I think so. When this pool guy was talking about the pricing, what he did was he gave a range. And I think that,
Range calculator most probably.
yes, yeah. And so at least this way, they feel like you're being open because
Guided,
we,
yes.
we're because the reality is if they pick up a phone call, I will tell them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to give them the information if they get me on the phone. Like this is the range you're looking at if you're this type of company. And also what I also look at too is the number of decision makers. So when we work with a lot of big companies like the Getty or USC where there's many decision makers, I know that there's multiple revision rounds that are going to happen. But if you're working with just one person, it's a completely different experience. Completely different. And you can get to the end result so quick. So the pricing should be different, right?
Different. And that you can tell only when you have answers to a lot of questions and you got to know them.
So you mentioned a couple of tools, so maybe we can go over them. You said SEM Rush. Can you?
Shref, people also ask.com of this. I think that's the domain where you can search all the questions. There are very interesting tools which actually tell you the popular questions in an industry.
Oh, Answer the Public?
Answer the public. Yes.
Yeah.
The answer the public, that helps. The best thing, we have a process in the company before we do keyword research. We call it KYC and KYCC, right? It is KYCs know your customer, and then KYCs know your customer's customer.
That's great.
Right. So if I'm doing SEO for you, for example, if I don't know your customer, how will I tell what they are looking for? Right?
Exactly.
These tools you use are very good if you give them the right seed keywords. If you give the right keyword to it, it will give you the right keywords back. Right? But the input has to be right. So the best keyword research tool for me is an Excel sheet. Start writing, listen, read, and start writing core keywords. Start writing precursors, suffixes, and prefixes, qualifiers. Write it properly. Half an hour of effort, you will beat majority of it. And
True.
then the tools actually they expand your thought process a bit more, but you will be very able to map those new findings on this Excel sheet. From the Excel sheet, you can create your information architecture. From the Excel sheet, you can create your content plan and then give it to you so that you can create a website for them. I think that's how it should be, isn't it?
I think that is so important to repeat that you have to have this human element to look at your keywords first. There was this one software that was trying to determine a really good type of movie using software, and the movie failed because it at some point you have to use your own human brain to just figure it out, right? Start there. Like, what do you think?
Insights. For example, I picked up a company as a client in India recently, and when we started doing keyword research, we said, why don't you send 100 successful sales calls recordings, so that we want to listen what your customers are actually asking. What are they talking
Ah, nice.
right? So we wanted to see if we can get access to their client questions or complaints. So until unless you feel them, you talk to them, you hear them, right? You don't know what are they. Quick common sense doesn't work. You have to put in significant effort. In any search, be it paid search or SEO, or Google Map or Google search map search or Amazon search or YouTube search, everywhere the starting is those keywords, those contexts, those subject, right? The subject on which you should perform on. So it is important. It is like doing your home's architecture. If you do it right, then the house is built right. Right? Everything else start falling in place. Right? So that is why I emphasize a lot on the KYC, KYCC, and then keyword research.
Know your customer's customer. Brilliant. Yeah. So, so good. So now, I had mentioned earlier, there's a looming recession that's coming to the US. And as people are going to be buckling down, conserving their cash, not spending money on marketing, perhaps, how are you preparing your business? Because you have a lot of US clients. And what do you think other business owners should do as we're seeing this retraction again? What advice would you give them?
Difficult question, but let me see let me tell you what we are doing. As an agency, when we started serving few clients in US, then few clients in UK, then Europe, then Gulf region, and Singapore, and India. The first thing we did was actually have a very clear distribution so that we cover a lot of geographies, right? The second important thing for us was being in industry agnostic. So we have clients in financial advisory space, we have clients in ed tech space, we have clients in food tech space, they have clients in different areas. So that thing, and then services as well. So for example, paid advertisement contributes only 15% of our revenue. SEO contributes only 12% of our revenue. So it's not that there is any one specific uh, service or geography controls majority of or contributes majority of our revenue. That in a way makes us slightly safer. But on the counter argument to this situation is this also makes us slightly slower, right, to grow. Right? So we last 4 5 years we are growing very well, but because we have multiple skills in a 20 and 230 people company, growing all across is slightly. So at one space we see being distributed helps us in absorbing risk, but on the other hand, it slows us down. Right? Hopefully, doesn't happen in future. No, because I am a marketer, I'm not a subject matter expert in management. But what I think, tough times start happening, and it's 12 years of business. We have also seen tougher times. You take a step back and then you sell more. Sell more means if let me put it this way: recession or no recession, this business is about managing your funnel. You talk to 100 people, 10 people agree to listen your proposal, 2 people buy. In recession, this efficiency of this funnel breaks. You talk to 300 people, 10 people will be ready to buy, and 2 will buy. So you have to probably talk to 300 people to do the same sale what you were otherwise doing in 100. So all of us, right? We all will survive any recession or not. And but hopefully whatever bad time is coming or probably already there, all of us will be tougher. That's it, right?
I mean, we,
Tougher.
we
We'll
got through
probably
COVID.
Oh yeah, we have to collaborate and probably will collaborate. I think people should collaborate more in tougher times. So don't stay in home, go out, do something and talk to people, they will help. So that's how I see it. Sell harder and collaborate.
Yeah, I remember when I was going through it, like, this is going to be like probably my third recession, but the second one into it, one of my friends said, "Isn't it interesting that we work twice as hard to get the same amount of money during a recession?" And that's what we just have to prepare for.
Oh yes, that's the price we have to pay for the difficult time economies have gone through in last 2 years. In last 2 years, the world has seen the toughest period in last 100 years, if not 100 years, last 70 years. If you look at forget about the depression of 30s and 40s, right? So if you don't consider that, it was the toughest period, and we all come out of it. Right? We
Yes.
lost our dear ones, but we all came out. And
Yes.
if now, when we all are healthy and safe, if we have to work harder, so be it. So be
Yes.
it. So be it.
So I know we only have a couple more minutes, but I wanted to talk to you about where do you see the trends happening? Because you see the analytics. Where did you anticipate TikTok? Like, do you have any, if you could look in a crystal ball, would you just say put all your eggs in video content, video and audio content? What do you see?
Ah, no, no, no. So if I have to put all the eggs in one basket and you're putting a gun on my head, I will say put all the eggs in creating content on a platform which you own.
Like your website?
Yes, my website, my blogs, videos on my blogs, anything which I can own. I keep a backup of it. If the hosting service breaks, I can put it somewhere else. Because these guys will go down. Everybody
Gotcha.
goes down.
Yes.
So
Look at Facebook.
yeah, everybody goes down, right? So people spend millions of dollars creating their acquiring fans for their pages, right? And then Facebook came and said, you have to pay for talking to your own fans. That's how these guys become $1 trillion companies, right? You can't talk to your own fans now on followers on Facebook, right? The organic distribution is dead. So if I have to choose only one, if not, then I will like to have a balanced approach. And the balanced approach is that I create content on the platforms my audience. Not everybody's audience is on TikTok. So everybody has to understand. Okay, I have very high regards for the product. It's a beautiful product. It is all teenagers and everybody who has enough time to watch videos for 2 hours are watching videos for 2 hours there, right? So, but is my audience also there? If I find the answer is yes, please create content for them. If not, be if your audience on Reddit, be there, right? If your audience spend time on Quora, be there. If your audience fundamentally searches or is on LinkedIn, then be there. So the platform is not important. Your audience is.
So brilliant. You are such a. I want to bring you back on. we have, we, like you said, you could talk hours for just video SEO by itself, So thank you so much for all your wonderful time and your insights and just giving and contributing to all the entrepreneurs that are listening to this show. I think you're a brilliant man and
Thank
I
you very
really
much.
appreciate everything you do. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you,
how can
Debbie.
people find you if they want to reach out to you?
Type Satish Sharma Unyscape on LinkedIn, they will find. And you can see my smile there as well. I have very smiley.
Yes, you
Put
are.
a photo on LinkedIn as well, so they will find me there.
Yes, sounds good.
Or type unyscape.com on internet and then find me.
We'll put all your links in the show notes. And also, maybe you can give us that video that you did.
Oh yes, I can.
Okay, we'll add
I,
that
I
too.
can do that. Should I send it to you after the call? After the
Yes, please. We'll add it to the show notes. All
Sure.
right.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
so
much.
much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.